You see these people talking with each other. So this conversation is what makes us humans. Now today we are going to discuss how evolution gave us the art of conversation. So sometimes it gets too much, as you can see in this cartoon, but conversation is our birthright and it kind of makes us feel like humans. So actually, evolutionary changes in both the vocal tract and our brain were necessary for the remarkable gift of conversation. So during evolution, our vocal tract, it changed in configuration, and there were changes in our brain structure, which resulted in the wonderful gift of conversation so that we were able to express ourselves and be called humans. So this guy Darwin, he wrote a book, Origin of Species. And in that particular book, he made the remarkable observation that whatever we humans eat, that has to pass over our airway, that has to pass over our trachea before going into the esophagus. Now, this doesn't seem to be normal. So why is it that whatever we eat has to be passed over our airway before going into the esophagus? So this feature noted by Darwin helped us understand why evolutionary changes allowed us to speak. So let us see how. So this unusual anatomy that whatever we eat passes over our airway before going into the esophagus is not a feature of other mammals, and this leads to choking. So there is always a danger of choking whenever we eat. So why this happens? This happens because during evolution, our tongue, it descends and it carries the larynx with it. So the hard palate, it goes backwards, while the tongue, it descends, carrying the larynx with it. And due to these changes, these evolutionary changes, we received the remarkable gift of conversation. So this is a species-specific scenario which is created due to mutations. And these mutations have crafted the human face, pharynx, and tongue and made us interpret speech and speak. So what happens when we are infants? When we are infants, our tongue is flat, as is the case with other mammals. And if you notice in this image, and if you have ever noticed an infant, infants can breathe and suck liquids at the same time. Why so? Because the anatomy of their vocal cords is different, vocal tract is different from adult anatomy. So let us see how. So what happens is, in an infant, this larynx lies at a higher position. So when the infant sucks, this larynx, it goes up as is marked by this arrow, and it gets to be in continuity with the nasal tract, so that a continuous pipe is formed through which breathing can take place, and around this tubular structure, the fluids can move, and from there they can trickle down into the esophagus. Now this anatomical aspect is lacking in adults, and probably this is the reason that we are able to talk while infants are not able to talk. And this feature where the larynx is lying at a higher position and it goes and gets in continuity with the airway, goes up and becomes in continuity with the airway, and the fluids that pass around this tubular structure to go into the esophagus. This is also seen in cats and dogs. So they can consume water while breathing. Infants can consume liquids while breathing, while adults cannot, because in them, the larynx lies at a lower position. In adults, what happens is that with the growth, the hard palate goes backwards, the tongue goes down. As the tongue goes down, it carries the larynx with it. And due to that, whatever we eat, it has to pass over the larynx before it goes into the esophagus. And there is always a chance of choking. So this evolution which has taken place has given us the wonderful gift of conversation. So if somebody asks, monkeys can speak like humans, is it so? No. So why can't monkeys speak like humans? This girl is asking the same question. And Innovatio, my friend here, is answering that that is due to the physical limitation in the vocal tract. What is the physical limitation? That there has taken place a descent of larynx with evolution. Also, not only this, the monkeys, they lack neural networks in the brain, neural circuits in the brain, and so they can't converse like human beings. So evolution has indeed gifted us the art of conversation. So in monkeys also, the tongue rests almost entirely within the mouth. And the same is the case with us also when we are born. But in the first 2 years of life, as I mentioned earlier, the hard palate moves backwards relative to the base of the skull, and the tongue moves downwards into the neck. And this evolutionary change has allowed us to speak. So we have a species-specific tongue with one half in the mouth and the other half forming the anterior margin of the pharynx. If you look at this diagram, so this is the part of the tongue which is lying in the mouth, and this is the part which is forming the anterior aspect of the larynx. So we have oral and pharyngeal parts of the tongue, and that makes our tongue species specific. And now if you see here, this is the laryngeal region. So this is the vertical component of the supralaryngeal vocal tract, and this is the horizontal component of the supralaryngeal vocal tract. So abrupt changes take place in cross-sectional area at the intersection, this part of the vertical and horizontal portions of supralaryngeal tract. And these abrupt changes in cross-section which take place, they have allowed us to speak. And they have allowed us to produce the distinctive quantal vowels. And what are those? I, U, and A. You know, the first word infant speaks is ma. So ma has got A in it, a quantal vowel. And the remarkable thing is that all human languages, they use these vowels. So isn't it remarkable that how the descent of the tongue has allowed us to produce quantal vowels? And the first word is ma, produced by an infant. So that quantal vowel is produced due to abrupt changes in cross-sectional area at the intersection of vertical and horizontal components of the supralaryngeal vocal tract. And they have this abrupt changes in cross-sectional area have been possible due to the descent of the tongue carrying the larynx down with it. But there are some monkey species who have a low larynx. Why they are not able to speak? That is because for speaking, not only a lower lying larynx is required, also an articulatory loop is required in the brain, and monkeys don't have those neuronal circuits which humans have, so they can't speak. So we have evolved to have a cortical control of vocal cord musculature, and that is not there in our ancestors. And this evolution of this cortical control of vocal cord musculature has taken place due to our social sense and ecological factors. So ecological factors means our relations with our environment. So human is indeed a social animal, and this tendency to be a social animal has evolved humans into be able to talk, and that has been possible due to the descent of the larynx and the development of circuits in our brain, what is called the articulatory loop. So when articulatory loop developed, that led to increasingly complex utterances, that is our ability to speak, it was enhanced. And due to the cognitive and communicative pressures, our brain size increased and conversation became possible. So it's a very interesting aspect of our evolution. And that is what I wanted to share with you today. Now, these are the images which are showing the articulations of the lip and position of the tongue in producing the different sounds. So B, M, P, A, E, I, O. So what is the position of the lips and the tongue when the articulation of these sounds is taking? What is the articulation when these sounds are being produced? So out of these sounds, I want to focus on F and V sounds, which are referred to as the labiodental sounds. Now, production of these sounds requires involvement of bottom lip and upper teeth. So you try pronouncing the word F and V, you will realize that there is involvement of bottom lip and upper teeth. So this production of F and V sounds is a relatively newer aspect as far as human beings are concerned. That is, this production of F and V sounds evolutionarily is a newer feature in human beings. So initially, human beings, they focused on a diet consisting of raw meat. And because of that diet, there was wear and tear of teeth, which happened quite quickly. And so the normal horizontal and vertical gap between the teeth, what is referred to as overjet and overbite, that diminished very early. So human beings were just not able to produce the F and V sounds. But with the advent of agriculture, with the dawn of agriculture, what happened? See, here you see the overjet and the overbite. So with the dawn of agriculture, human beings started farming and they started having soft food like cheese and yogurt. Because of that, they were able to maintain the overjet and overbite for relatively longer period of time, and that allowed them to produce the F and V sounds. So these labiodental sounds are also a gift of evolution. So this whole article wherein I have described how evolution has gifted us the ability to speak is available in the magazine Buzz Desire, and you can subscribe to this magazine at a very nominal subscription of ₹100 for 12 issues, and you can read the full article here. And this magazine is available at www.buzzdesire.com. So again, I thank you for your availability, and till the next time we meet, it's bye for me. Bye from my side. Take care.